It is December 10th, 2020. We're here on the rooftop of the property located at 2029 Cardinal Drive in San Diego, California, 92123. So there's the street ahead of us right here, Cardinal Drive. We're right now over the bathrooms, so we can see these little skylight pieces right here. This is the master bathroom. This is the hall bath. They're back to back with each other. This is the original 3-inch vent. A little extension was put on through the flashing. Might have been redone when the solar was added and a new roof. So we'll see if this continues. And no, you can see it does transition back to the original cast iron pipe right there. A lot of cobwebs on there, which is typical. A lot of roach and water German cockroach bugs in the line there, as you can see. So this will lead us directly into the main sewer line. Now we do have another powder bathroom. Looks like we've got some little flaky debris right there. Doesn't look like an object, it looks like maybe a piece of the cast iron pipe. It's possible maybe somebody had snaked the line, or that piece might be a chunk that fell off from the piece that's now extended on the rooftop. So you can see that little flat piece right there. Since it's pretty flat, it's either a shingle or it's a large piece of the line. It's too flat. It's kind of thinking it might be just a shingle. Yeah, so we're going to have to push through this here. Okay, there we go. We're now in the horizontal pipe. So you can see the little vertical drop in on the top of the screen, kind of a change in color. So essentially that's where our lavatory sink and tub showers are dumping into right there, at least one of those junctions. So we're going to push all the way across. This is the original cast iron pipe. This house is on slab. But as you can see so far, the pipe is nice and open, still very circular, even the bottom's not flattened out. Typically you're going to get a lot of deposits and scale and buildup in the line, especially on the bottom and the bottom sides, but that really hasn't occurred here yet. Looks like we got a little bit of debris just right there on the side of the pipe, but no big deal on either of those two sides right there. So we're looking for any foreign objects or debris that would have gotten into the line during construction or any trade work. Looking for obviously root intrusions or any obvious cracks or breaks in the pipe as well. And any areas or pockets that would be holding water and not draining out properly. So far we haven't seen anything. So here we're coming up on a turn in a T-junction. Now again, we do have a powder bathroom, so we'll be going through that vent and we'll see where these lines intersect. It might be at this point right here or slightly farther back. So we know that from the front of the house, the city put in a new property line clean out, and that is slightly to the right of the front door, and these bathrooms are to the left, so we definitely had to go to the other side of the house before we made that turn. So that's now we're probably headed mostly straight out of the front of the house to head across the front yard. Looks like some little debris right there. It looks like a towelette or a miniature washcloth or like a wipe. It's just stuck on the line there. So again, you should never be flushing any wipes down the line. Even the ones that say flushable do not dissolve or break apart in water. You can see you got a little bit of toilet paper right here. Might have just not flushed by or gotten hung up by that debris as well. I'm going to wash off our lens with that little bit of water in this. Get a better view again. Still not seeing any issues with the line. Still looks very good. For the age of the cast iron, no problems with it. Looks completely functional. Does not require any cleaning or servicing still at this time. Okay, you can see we have looks like a vertical opening right there on the top of the pipe. That's typically the original property line clean out. And that can be several feet in front of the sidewalk area. So on the old homes, they never brought that to surface, but that looks like what that opening is for the distance we're out right here. We'll continue down this line. A little bit of swelling on the left-hand side with some buildup right there. You can see the pipe, but again, still not an issue for the line. Okay, here we have our turn on the system. So right here might also be another T-junction that was put in right here at the top of the screen. They used a T to make this turn. This actually may be the true property line clean out. And right here, this horizontal pipe is going to make a vertical down turn right here. So here we're now going down at about a 60-degree angle or so. Still cast iron, and at the bottom here it typically would transition to clay concrete. We know that from the work that we can see that the city did that it's going to transition. Here we go. There's the green plastic pipe right here. So got a little bit of debris, looks like snagged up on the top there, but it doesn't look like roots or anything, just some paper that flew down the line and tumbled and caught there. So here's where the cast iron is ending right here at this turn. And then there's a very short piece, it appears, of this clay concrete, just a few inches, and then we go right into the Greenbell new plastic PVC. So this white fit is the T-fitting. Now we've got a little bit of debris in our camera lens still. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and pause the video and just clean off this camera lens. It's still a little fuzzy and blurry. Okay, so we're going to continue down this pipe here. Again, this is all the new pipe the city put in, and they may have done a relining. We'll see when we go across. Still have some debris in our lens right here. We're going to go ahead and pause again. Okay, so we're just showing this water going by here. See if we can get a little bit clearer view. Just got some of that debris really caked up on our lens right here. Really bad. So, still a little bit off. We're going to keep pushing all that. Looks like this pipe was, of course, relined. So we're going to see if when we get out to the city, which is right here, if we can get a better view with some heavy water running by our lens. So there you can see on the top of the screen that little tape mark. So that's the relining that was done. So the big pipe, right, which is right here, is the city pipe, which is still the clay. You can see the reddish color. And as we back up, this is the end of the lateral for this house, and there's the lining right there that was put in. And so you can see the little fold and the tape marks there. So it's essentially like a fiber weave. It's rolled into the line, and then a heavy, essentially glue material, epoxy, is put into there, and then it dries up and creates a new pipe inside of there. And so this used to be clay, essentially. The outside shell is still clay, but now you've got this new relined area here that you're looking at. So we'll slowly pull back. Obviously, there shouldn't be any issues here. This was all redone by the city contractor. It is still the homeowner's responsibility for this line. It is still their pipe, but it does not look like there's any glitches with the relining process. Sometimes there can be, but none here. So everything looks white in color because that's the color of the epoxy in the liner. So everything's good. There's the Greenbell PVC pipe. This is what they had to dig up in the sidewalk area to be able to inject the pipe with the equipment that they use. Again, there's the white clean out tee. So there's a steel concrete area on the sidewalk that has this lid for access and cleaning for the city, which won't be needed now that it's new, but they always put that in since they had to dig it up. So again, then we come back into this short little piece of clay concrete. Then we're back into the cast iron. So we have no root intrusions, which is the good thing. and we don't see any other problems with heavy buildup or scale or deposits in the cast iron, or anything other fissure lines or anything that looks really bad and severe. So overall, it has a clean bill of health on this part of the entire system here. So what we're going to do is just pull back a few more feet, and essentially now we're going to go from the powder bathroom, which is a separate main line, for a few feet before it junctions into this pipe off of these two bathrooms. So we're going to leave our camera right here, and we've got a second camera now that we've brought up onto the rooftop, and we're going to go ahead and transfer our equipment and start on inspecting that line. Okay, so there's our other equipment there, just to the right of the solar on the rooftop, and that's the vent between the two domes right there for the bathroom. So we now moved over to here. So this is the 2-inch vent for the powder bathroom. So we'll go down here and see if we can get this camera through this vent and into the main sewer for this line. It does appear to be a straight run, so it should give us access. There's a T-junction right there. That picks up the lavatory sink vent. It shares the same vent pipe. Here's our transition from the toilet, and here you go. So we actually, here's already the other orange-red push rod you can see from the first camera. So in fact, that T-junction we saw was in fact the one farther out where this line junctions in, and it literally junctions in within just a few feet of each other. So the other bathroom is essentially straight across from here, and so it runs almost perfectly straight across and then tees in. So basically from this bathroom, it's a very short run before they become one pipe. You can see right there's where the line enters into at that T-junction, that red push rod coming through the system. So this line has a very short run before they become shared. So there's obviously no issues with this run. We've looked at the rest of it already, so we don't have to continue to push forward. So our laundry is right off the other two bathrooms, off the garage. That's right there. So the only other run we have is the kitchen on the other far side of the house here. So we're going to go ahead and see, one, if it's a straight shot from the vent. Otherwise, if the vent goes around the window, we'll try to see if we can get access from the clean out that the kitchen does have at ground level, if it will open up or not. So we're going to go ahead and pause and move over to that vent. Okay, so we're here on the side of the house. Here's the kitchen clean off. We were able to get the metal plug removed from here. There was some heavy buildup, which is normal at the clean out area, so it may not just been cleaned for a while. So we do have water running already, because the kitchen line, typically with the amount of buildup that's in there, you can see right here, it is really difficult for the camera to make its way through without the running water keeping it clear. So you can see right here, looks like we're kind of underwater. Might be a partial stoppage. The line is very constricted here. We're going to go ahead and try to get our camera through. It looks like the line is completely blocked up, so we may end up having to actually clean out the line here to be able to even get the camera through. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and pause for a second, shut the water off. Okay, so we had to run a 3/8 cable down the line because it was completely backed up. It looks like it might be draining again because we don't have as much excess water coming out, only because this T-junction, you can see where the water's coming vertically down in. That's why we're probably getting just a little bit pouring out here. So if we cup our hand over this, we'll see it's not building up and flowing over the edge right here. So it is draining again. We'll try to see if we can get this so you can see all that gunk that's immediately just falling off the line. This has not been snaked or cleared in a long time. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pause the video. We're going to try a smaller camera because we just don't think this one's going to get through there and just going to keep causing more problems for the heavy buildup in grease and food that are in this line. We're going to pause for 1 second. Okay, so we now have a very small camera, 5/8 inch in diameter, that hopefully can travel across. Now, it's very small, so the lighting's not as intense, but again, we're just trying to get a view that anything else that's in the system is going to need to be cleaned up or looked at here. So, looks like we are draining right now. We'll see if this camera can get all the way out to there. My guess is it may land up clogging the line again, but we're going to keep trying this. So we have no view right now of anything. Again, there's so much fat and grease and food in here, which is typical with a kitchen drain line. But that's why you're not seeing anything on the screen. The camera's pushing through. It is traveling though. There we go. We got a little bit of a view. So the line is staying open and it's not completely backing up. We have a partial view right here. It's kind of getting all the way out. Now this camera also may not get all the way into the main sewer depending on how it has to make the turn into the main sewer. That is usually a 90-degree sweeping turn, and on this small camera it doesn't have the pushability sometimes to get through there, so we may not get to the point where we see that other orange-red push rod, which we showed when we were going from the other bathroom into the other main, but we are getting out right now, so that's the good news. It is still pushing. You can see that the water is draining. Getting a little bit tougher to push. We'll see if we can get all the way, but we do want to verify it's actually pretty good shape. Okay, this may be the turn right here into the main. We're coming up against the wall. So right here, let's see. Be dumping into the big main sewer right here, our bigger pipe. So we may have a clear path, which is good news as we wanted to confirm it was intact. May need cleaning on occasion because of the buildup, but at least it's able to get things through. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pause the video. We're going to get the water stopped here, and then we'll run it through the bathroom to see if we get evidence of water running through there, that if we're in the main sewer. Okay, so we have the kitchen water off, and actually you can see we were pushing for quite a ways, and actually there is the Greenbelt PVC pipe. So we actually were able to push this camera with the running water all the way into the main sewer. We just never passed our orange-red push rod on the screen where we could see it with the water running. So this is the main sewer now that we're coming all the way back across. We may see the orange-red push rod that is in still from the original bathrooms, the back-to-back. So this is still all the main sewer here. Again, this camera is so small it doesn't really give a big perspective, especially in a big 4-inch pipe. Oh, there we go. There's our other camera right there. So there's the camera that's sitting in the main sewer that we left in there from the very first inspection. There's the orange-red push rod. You see it kind of goes out of the screen on occasion, but without the water running now we can actually see that. So this kitchen line, we were able to get all the way through and did essentially had to snake it and clean it up with a 3/8 drain cable as well. But it's functional. There we go. Now we're back into just this. There's the main, and then here's our sweeping turn into the line at that curve. So we're now coming back across the kitchen line here. So again, some buildup, but overall pretty good. But again, we just snaked the line, so we actually just cleared a lot of the debris that was out of there. But it is intact. We've had problems in this zip code where a cable won't even pass through because the line is getting so rotted out that the cable actually chews through the side wall. It's so thin and weak. So the line is still intact. Our cable passed through there no problem, and now you can see we're just coming back in reverse through the camera. So the line is open and clear and fully functional with no issues right now that need to be attended to for any repairs or servicing. Now we just came back out of this clean out here on the side of the house. This side right here. So everything's in good shape on the house. It concludes the recording for this property.